I mean, I get it, but it's just like this, like, oh, here's this cute little Johnny, boom, dead. Bruh, not like this. If he didn't show up there, he was going to kill her. Because Power Bottom Hikaru don't share. I refuse to elaborate on that title. Make sure you drop a like, those sure support, subscribe if you're new around to your patrons or you catch my full live reactions. Now I lied, I will expand on that title. Technically, he almost broke up with his Power Bottom son, and I don't blame him. The crazy thing, and this is what I've been saying for a little bit, it's both a dynamic of like boyfriends and father and son. And not in the general kinky way that you would think of, but more so, he's essentially raising Hikaru as a child. Like, he knows nothing about people. So his ignorance to what we know is morally right and wrong because we're humans, he doesn't. So the concept of, I could kill people, it doesn't matter. Because for him, the souls live on. Like, there's not really a difference. Does he play favoritism when it comes to Yoshiki? Yes. And he makes a very brilliant comparison on why that's, important. He wouldn't be able to eat ice cream with him. Seems super simple, but it's like he knows that if he was dead, his spirit couldn't eat ice cream, and that's something he enjoys. So he's like, okay, that's a specialty. And the interesting thing is that on top of the whole, is this my old friend slash crush? Is this a new thing? What do I do? Yoshiki's been indirectly teaching him like he's a child, and he's grown up rather quick over 6 episodes. But he almost kills that girl. And I don't remember what episode it was. I think it was like episode 3. There's like, she was about to cross the railroad tracks, right? And then she takes a different way home. And then we see like, oh, there's some weird spirit thing. We finally get some confirmation on what all that meant. Apparently she has the ability to like see and sense spirits. So the thing is the whole episode I knew something was going to happen because it felt different. It was completely different directing choice. I don't know if there was a different director who worked on this episode in comparison to the other 5, but it felt very different. You knew there was going to be a moment where the shoe drops and shit hits the fan. Them going by themselves to get whatever the hell they were going to buy, I forget. I knew he was going to do something, and personally I thought she was going to die. And she would have had our boy Yoshiki not been there. That whole scene of how casual he was, like, oh yeah, I guess it probably would have been a great idea to kill her, huh? Am I surprised that he showed up at his house the next morning to take him to school? No. Am I slightly disappointed? A bit. Here's the thing. There's 2 things here that we have to accept. The first of which is that if Yoshiki completely separates himself from Hikaru, that whole town's probably gonna die. I don't think a crash out through a breakup with him would go over well. It would be worse than a girl taking a bat to their ex-boyfriend's car, bro. I don't think it would go over well. And the second thing we have to accept is that without a single doubt in anyone's mind, this should be universally accepted, Power Bottom. Now, I was very disappointed in the comments last week. 50% of you made me proud and understood the assignment. The other 50% of you need to go do your homework. For the most part, only one character's been penetrated. Now, here's the thing. Has Hikaru technically gone inside Yoshiki? Yes, but here's the thing, okay? You gotta understand what a power bottom is. And that is 100% what he is. And just because he's a power bottom doesn't mean he doesn't get the sucky suck sometimes. You need to go do your homework because I was very disappointed in 50% of you. And this was a very important part of the video. No one can convince me otherwise. But, I don't know how they end this season because it's based on an ongoing manga. I don't see how there's a stopping point. I'm hoping it's not a one and done season, but if they do a one and done season, I'm interested if there's a way to go open-ended that feels satisfying. My assumption is it's gonna look like in a weird way where like they end it with like Yoshiki unsure of the future, hoping for the best, but then they do like some sort of jump scare like, oh, it's probably gonna be bad either way. And that would probably work, but either way, there's a lot of uncertainty. We have essentially a demon hunter with his hamster pal. That's gonna come into play. We have a girl who can see spirits and shit. And then we got this weird couple where half the time they're boyfriends, confused on their sexuality because human and monster shouldn't mix. And then the other half of their relationship is him teaching how to be a human. I said since the first episode, this was among the best anime of the season. And with us being halfway through this season, which is crazy to say, time has definitely flown by, there's 3 shows that have stood out from the very beginning and have remained, which doesn't happen often. Usually when a season starts, you have like, okay, these are my top picks, but then once you get a few episodes in, other shows surprise you, maybe those top pick shows, they fall off. Not this. My top 3 has remained to be my top 3. Like, maybe 2 and 3 swap back and forth, but it's been Tabaki's Original Sin was my number 1, Clevadis, and Hikaru Died. That's been my top 3 since it started, and it still is. The show's incredible, it's wonderfully produced, it's horrifying, and I think this is really what makes anime special. It's not just about adapting panel for panel, or, you know, every line from a light novel, no. It's about getting the same idea across, or in a different way that still makes it special. But the best part is utilizing those extra... See, this is what bothers me. People will often be like, they didn't say this specific line, blah, blah, blah. And they don't have to, right? Because we have voice acting, we have sound, we have so many different things that when you have a still image in a panel, you need dialogue to get it completely across. Yes, you can get glances and stuff, and sometimes that works for visual directing, but not to the same degree anime does. And not that I necessarily have seen this mentioned online, but I've seen it enough with other series where it's like, oh, they didn't say a certain line, so you didn't understand. And I could literally be in a video being like, I literally said in the video that's what happened. They didn't need the line to be said. So when you look at an episode like this, that masterfully did horror/thriller directing well, with overhead camera shots, and you just got a sense that you were being unnerved. There was multiple points where the hairs on my arm stood up because I was unnerved. Like when he approached his room and found that note, I'm like, oh, here we go. Like I was like, I know something's gonna happen. Masterful, fantastic. Unfortunately, even if he wants to break up with his son, I don't think he can at this point. This kid is maybe we could ground him back to the mountain. That's also a possibility. Anyway, Two things. If you understood that he was a power bottom, just leave a comment. Normally, if you didn't know he was a power bottom, go do your homework on what a power bottom is. Anyway, comment down below, like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around your patrons, where you catch those full live reactions and exclusives. Like, hey, I give video shoutouts to all my patrons. All right, so today we got on Drake, Ravenheart, SLF Needs More Love, James Villers, John Veltri, Baychek, Achi, Yuri, and we also have SK41101. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care. Y'all have a good one.